It's so
read the
stupid.
term.
I hate that. Like, why can't it just work?
I think we should just stick to the link stuff from now on.
Yeah, let's just do that from now on because that shit sucked. I hate that.
Yeah.
That's
Plus,
awful.
it's easy for me.
Yeah, no
I
way.
have to be like, oh, where am I in Narnia?
All right, it's stupid. All right, let's see. Let me go to. I don't know why I just did that one.
All right.
Refresh the
I'm going
page.
to close all these links.
All right, it should be live now. If it's not live, then suck it. All right. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's working, baby.
You want me to check?
No, it's working. I see it. Okay. All right, guys. Let me just tweet this out. I don't know why I just. Hold on. Let me close this because I don't care about that. WWE Podcast number 1. Okay, so let's start this off, right? Because we're gonna get people coming in here and coming, you know. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to talk about. I want to talk about wrestling, obviously. Let me just make sure my mic's not muted. I think it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, it's not. Okay, cool.
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Let me go to Dude, my podcast got 26 views. Like, this shit sucks. I didn't even mean to do that. I gotta delete that later. But
Yeah.
let me try to get to the thing. Okay, so let's just talk about wrestling pretty much. What is one thing you think the WWE needs to change? In all honesty, like, what is one thing you wish the WWE would just change?
The worth of their world title.
Exactly, right? That's what I've always said. I mean, I think wrestling in general has become just a joke. And I mean, I don't say that lightly. I think it's just, I don't know, wrestling has become so boring recently, you know, and I don't know, who do you think they need to bring back? Because I've been watching a lot of tapes of Shelton Benjamin, right? I just randomly one day was watching WWE Network, and I saw him wrestle, and I think he's a great guy to bring back at the Rumble, something like that. But I don't know. Who do you think they should bring back? Who do you think would be a good fit for this day and age in WWE?
This day and age, but someone that's still like
someone who can still go. You know, someone who isn't too old, but like Sting, for instance, right? Why would you bring back Sting when you could bring back like Shelton Benjamin or what's good? What's going on, Percy?
Like guys like this is just an example, but Chris Benoit.
If he was alive, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, something like that, you know. I mean, it just depends. I mean, I think the WWE made a mistake by not trying to keep CM Punk. Like, okay, go ahead. Who do you got?
Evan Bourne.
He's another one, right? I've been thinking about that too. I think that people like Evan Bourne would fit in very well with this day and age because there's so many high flyers, right? Yeah. Well, in the future, you'll have Rollins back. Rollins is a high flyer. It just kind of depends to me. I don't know. I think there's a lot of guys right now who shouldn't be in the WWE. Like guys like I think the world champion right now, Sheamus. I think he's a great competitor, right? But he's just not. He's not a champion to me. I don't see Sheamus as a champion. You know?
He was his first year.
Yeah, he earned it really quick too. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah, less than a year. It was like
it was less than a month. I think. You think he beat Cena in a tables match or something like that? And
yeah. What happened was, and I actually remember how it went down. Cena was trying to go for a superplex and put Sheamus to the table, and then Sheamus just pushed him, and Cena put himself through it.
One thing that I think people don't understand. Okay, let's talk about Roman Reigns. All right, let's not try to bash Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns is a great competitor. We all know that.
It's not bashing if it's honesty.
Yeah, we all know that Roman Reigns is a great competitor, but do you think Roman Reigns needs the belt right now? because I think he might. I think that they need somebody to hold it because you got Cesaro out for 4 to 6 months.
Well, they need a placeholder as well
Yeah.
as a placeholder that makes an interesting story.
But do you give the belt to Brock? That's one thing that I think people aren't really into right now. Well, I mean, I think everyone would be into it. I mean, it's Brock.
Well, everybody will be into it because everybody's a fan.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves. I mean, not everybody loves Brock Lesnar, but it's Brock fucking Lesnar. You know, he's
Mr. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's a genetic freak, as people would call him. But when it comes down to it, would you pick Dean Ambrose or Roman Reigns right now to hold the belt?
Dean.
I've been thinking about that as well. I don't know if I would pick Dean over Roman right now because Roman's actually, I think he's over now. If you didn't see Raw, right? If anybody in the stream didn't see Monday Night Raw, go watch the top 10. Roman had the whole crowd chanting his name, right? The whole crowd was behind him, pushing him. It seemed like people were actually – well, actually, let's talk about this. Does this storyline remind you of anything from a couple of years ago?
A couple of years ago.
Daniel Bryan. This is the Daniel Bryan storyline, right? Anybody in the chat,
it is.
Anybody in the chat who is here to talk wrestling, do you agree that this is pretty much the Daniel Bryan storyline, but with Roman Reigns in his place? I personally see it because Triple H, it always involves Triple H screwing a guy over, somebody cashing in Money in the Bank, and it just, I don't know, that's how I think about it. You know, I just think that this is pretty much the Daniel Bryan storyline, just with a different guy.
Bro, I don't mean to cut you off, but I got the YouTube chat open for our live podcast. I have it on mute, obviously, your voice, but
yeah.
Percy Davis agrees with us.
Yeah, no, I saw him. I see him. I said, what's going on, Percy? Okay, let's talk about, we got, TLC's coming up? Really, only one match is in place right now, right? You have Sheamus and Roman. I think the Usos, the Lucha Dragons, and who's the champ right now? The New Day. I think they're going to be doing a six-man kind of thing, 2v2.
Yeah, they will.
But, you know, I've been thinking about this. I actually watched the Ascension today on NXT. I was watching NXT. I watched like a bunch of episodes of NXT, by the way, today. I felt like watching the best wrestlers in the world wrestle. And I was watching the Ascension. And have you seen the Ascension in NXT?
Yeah.
They are over. They're over. The fans love the Ascension.
Yeah, because they're like the likable bad guys.
2 weeks ago, right, on NXT. I don't know if you watched this match or not, but it was, I forget the name. It was the African-American guy and the white guy. Yeah. Who did they wrestle? It was like the wrestler guys, like the guys who did like amateur wrestling. They were at,
Jason Jordan and Chad Gable.
Yeah, they wrestled them. Did you hear the reaction the Ascension got when they came out? That's crazy. Like, why does the WWE universe not do that, but the NXT universe does it?
Yeah, in all honesty, though, I knew Jordan and Gable were going to go over.
No, I'm talking about the Ascension.
Yeah, no, I'm just pointing out that I knew the other guys were going to go over.
I don't know, man. I think hold on. I think the Ascension would be a great tag team if they were booked better, right? If they weren't booked as jobbers on Raw and they were actually booked as
I was thinking that recently.
Main competitors, you know. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, because, I mean, you build them as, like, this unstoppable force, and now you got them teaming with Stardust.
Which, I mean, it's a great team.
I mean, it's not bad.
The Cosmic.
Before that, you had them going up against the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, true. But you gotta look at it this way, right? You have the Cosmic Wasteland. That's a sick name. They could do so much with that, right?
They could.
Even with Stardust and Barrett back at SummerSlam. What was their name? The Cosmic King or whatever, or something like that? I don't know. Was that his nickname? Wade Barrett's nickname?
Yeah, Cosmic King and
something like that.
The Prince of Dark Matter.
Yeah, so that they could have done so much more with that, but I don't know what happened to Barrett, but I guess Barrett's back now. He's part of the Authority now, which good for Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett deserves it.
Yeah, but a lot of people would prefer Big Show and Kane over them.
Well, yeah, that's the issue here is you got guys who are 40, 50 years old. And I didn't know till today that Triple H is 46 years old. I didn't know that till today either.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand how he's 46 years old. He looks a lot younger, in my opinion. But
he looks like he's 35.
Let's talk about Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family getting a huge win.
My favorite subject.
Over the Dudley Boys. That's like a new feud. I guess the Dudley Boys are gonna put over the Wyatt family, which good for the Wyatt family. That's a big win.
I
Personally,
actually like what they've been doing with the Dudley Boys because ever since like the whole New Day thing shut down,
yeah.
they've been using the Dudley Boys to push their newer Raw talent.
So let's talk about the Wyatt family. So you got Bray, Luke, Eric, and
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman. Out of those four, obviously Bray Wyatt is the main
Attraction.
he's the main ingredient to this recipe of madness, right? The thing is do you push Bray as a singles competitor, or do you keep the Wyatt family going and hope that maybe one day they'll get an opponent where they can go over? Because right now I don't see the Wyatt family as a strong stable. It's not something that I see. But one thing that I've definitely noticed is that they're getting big matches, right? Facing the Undertaker and losing to the Undertaker is it's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing. Bray's lost to the Undertaker before.
Yeah, what was it, like WrestleMania?
Yeah, it was WrestleMania. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you think the Wyatt family should be the most dominant stable in the WWE right now? Or do you think the Authority and not the Ascension, we'll talk about that later, like the New Day, do you think the New Day needs to be the strongest stable? Because I think they're turning into complete jokes, in my opinion. When I see them come out with this whole unicorn bull crap, it kind of turns me off in a way.
For Seth Rollins support.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, let's talk about Seth Rollins, right? Seth Rollins starting his physical therapy about a week after his surgery. That's pretty nuts. I mean, I don't know if people have ever had these.
That is also actually pretty risky.
Yeah, it's something, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you think Rollins will be back before the 6 to 9 months, or do you think they'll just keep him out for the 9 months and he'll come back in like July?
Well, we're closing in. We're almost like into his first month, like a week or two into it.
Yeah, almost.
So I would have to say they're gonna, with the progress he's going at, they're gonna keep him out for 5 months and then have like an extra month just to regain his strength, and then he'll come back.
I think what they need to do.
I think he'll be back before. I think he'll be back around SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's what I'm aiming at too. I think that's probably for his safety, for his knee, because that's a bad injury. A torn MCL, torn ACL, and a meniscus. That is not something that you're just gonna get up the next day and say, "Oh, I'm just gonna brush it off, and I'm just gonna be the same person when I come back." Because you're not.
Yeah, right.
You're not going to be that same Seth Rollins. Well, he might be even better, and he's been talking about how he's going to regain whatever, stuff like that.
He's going to have to stay away from that Phoenix Splash for a little bit.
Well, when he comes back, I think he's going to be better, but I think they're going to limit him to or they might actually just say, "Hey, you got an injury already. Let's do what we did with Triple H and just let you go and just let you do what you want." Because I think Seth Rollins he's that talented of a superstar to where you can't hold him back. And I think when they took away the curb stomp, that really started to make Seth Rollins look very corporate in a way, in my opinion.
A lot of people.
Yeah, I think Seth Rollins, when he went corporate, right, when he went to the Authority, which wasn't a bad idea, right? He sold out. He bought in or sold out. Either way, it's still scummy, but. He's pretty much what The Rock did, right? If you remember The Rock, he joined the corporation and pretty much did the same thing Rollins did. When Rollins comes back, do you think that they should put the belt on him right away, or do you think he should have a feud with someone like Sami Zayn or someone like Adrian Neville just to get him back into the swing of things?
I say put him in a couple of superstars, put him in a couple of matches with Neville as a warm-up to see how he is coming back.
I think, in my opinion, I do agree with what you're saying. Put him in a feud, right? Because even though he never lost a title, Daniel Bryan never lost a title, and they kind of just threw him to the back of the line and said, "Hey, go for the Intercontinental title." A title that really doesn't mean anything anymore. With Seth Rollins, I think you have you have all the skill in the world, right? You have pretty much all the talent in the world, I should say. Is it possible for Seth Rollins to be better than he was before he got injured? Because I think he can be, but I think it's going to take a lot of training to get him back to where he was. Because as we all know, Seth Rollins does CrossFit, and yeah, he does CrossFit. He's been doing CrossFit for about a year now, and he always says that it keeps him from getting major injuries, and he's right. That's his first major injury in his career, and it was on an accident, right? He landed wrong on his knee, and
booking.
Yeah, we can argue that all day, but okay, let's talk about that then. Let's bring it back to Ireland, right? They're wrestling in Ireland. Was it Dublin? I think they were in Dublin that night. So you got Seth Rollins, right? The World Heavyweight Champion. Okay, well, yeah, we'll talk about this first, and then I want to ask you another question after. For Seth Rollins, would you have had him face a guy like Sheamus in Ireland? Kind of try to push Sheamus a little bit because you know that Sheamus is going to cash in at any second, any point.
Yeah, that's his home territory.
Yeah, so would you push Sheamus there and have him have a match and obviously have Rollins beat him? Or would you just keep it the same and have him face a guy like The Big Show or not The Big Show because same team, but like Demon Kane or someone like, I don't know.
That's another thing that pisses me off about the Kane naming, but that's another topic.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's talk about the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Do you think they need to split them up and put one back on SmackDown, put one back on Raw? Because I personally, I'll give my opinion after you. Do you think they should split them up and put them on different brands? Like they have the NXT Championship on that brand. Do you think there should be the SmackDown should have the WWE title and Raw should have the World Heavyweight title?
I'm going to say no for two reasons. One, when they did have two titles, it was basically a brand war, even though they were under one company.
Yeah.
And two, the reason I like it unified is because it means it's that more harder to get, but the value has gone way down.
See, here's my thing, right? And this is where I'm going to argue that. When you say the brand war, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious a few years ago when Paul Heyman was running SmackDown. They used to actually call out Raw. Like they would have different announce teams at one event, and they would announce their brands matches, right? Which was awesome. I loved that. I watched yesterday.
They actually made a pay-per-view out of it called Bragging Rights.
Yeah, and yesterday I watched Survivor Series of 2003 with Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle's team, like Lesnar's team versus Angle's team. Great pay-per-view. Probably the best Survivor Series I've ever seen. But it was so cool because there was two different brands, right? Or at the time it was three, but two main ones, right? Yeah, two main ones, SmackDown and Raw. And I thought it was just cool. It was a great environment. I felt like everyone was kind of there to support their own brand. But when it comes down to it, right? I think SmackDown needs a title because they don't have a title. It's pretty much every single title is on Raw besides the NXT Championship, the NXT Divas Championship, and NXT Tag Team titles, which let's talk about the Tag Team titles. Those things are sick looking. They're a bit better looking than the pennies we got on Raw. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'll argue this with you, right? I think the World Heavyweight title, which everyone knows used to be on Raw, in the WWE title, the Undisputed Championship was on SmackDown, if you didn't know.
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, for everyone in the stream who doesn't know, now you know. I don't know. I don't like the look of the championship. I don't really like the look of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship because I think the World Heavyweight Championship looks 15 times better. I always hated the spinner belt, which, let me tell you this story, right? So I was on WWEshop.com today just looking at the titles, and I saw where they had the Rated R Superstar spinner belt. But they don't have the spinner WWE Championship anymore, which is weird. I didn't understand why they didn't have that.
Reason for that.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Maybe because it's like it just got taken off like a couple years ago. I'm not sure. But I don't know.
They're trying to make you forget more about the whole reason where that spinner belt thing came from.
Oh, God, yeah, John Cena, yeah. Well, okay, let's talk about John Cena. Why not? Let's just get it out of the way. Let's talk
I
about
love
John
how
Cena.
when we're switching, it just goes
What do you mean?
like when we're switching, it's just like we talk about 5 seconds about one topic, and it ties into another thing, and we'll just be like, "Oh yes, let's talk about this now."
Well, we're doing it live, so
Okay, we'll do it live.
yeah. I mean, we might as well. So, let's talk about big match with John, right? We obviously, I'm not a fan of John Cena, but I've grown to appreciate him in a way that most fans don't, right? I think everyone kind of is tired of John Cena, right? Besides, the 10-year-olds and the females. Every female loves John Cena, it seems like. Which it seems like the same thing with Roman Reigns. But
it's basically a sexist.
Yeah. So, John Cena, for instance, right? When it comes down to it, John Cena, you have to agree with this, is the most successful wrestler to ever be a part of WWE. Besides Hulk Hogan, right? Now, when it comes to his gimmick, it's pretty obvious his gimmick is pretty stupid, right? I think everyone understands that. But I don't disagree with what the message that he spreads, right? Hustle, loyalty, and respect. Fuck the hustle part, okay? Pretty much he's telling you to work hard, which you have to work hard in life. The loyalty, I can understand. But see, here's my thing. He's always been loyal to the WWE, right? He's never left. He's never left to go to another company.
You got 10, 11 years?
Yeah, and you got to agree with that. He's never left to go to another company. Jesus Christ.
No.
What do you mean?
No, he hasn't.
Yeah. So, in the respect, I think not everyone respects him, but he has earned the respect from myself personally from the beginning of this year, right? When he started doing the U.S. Open Challenge, right? I think that really started to make Raw interesting again because we've never seen something like that, right? Name the last time you saw a guy come out and say, hey, I'm putting my title on the line every single week, every Monday night, sometimes on SmackDown.
Do that.
Yeah, I think he's one of the first people to do that since the Hardcore Championship when it used to be on the line at any time, any place. But with John,
I want that back.
That would be cool to have the Hardcore title back, though, wouldn't it? It would be pretty sick to see that.
Yeah, they would have to change the rating, though.
Well, yeah, I wish they would. I wish they'd go back to PG-14. But a man can dream, correct? A man can dream.
Men can dream.
Yeah, one thing that I want to talk about as well is I want to talk about Dusty Rhodes, right? It's been about a month and a half since Dusty Rhodes passed away. Am I correct on that? Can you look that up and see when he passed away? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm looking up stuff like that right now.
All right, look up and see what the date was that he passed away.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I want to talk about the American dream for a little bit.
I got you. June 11th, 2015.
Damn, it's been that long?
Yeah, he died of stomach cancer.
He did?
Yeah, it's called stomach cancer.
I thought he fell down the stairs.
I think the stomach cancer hit him before he fell down.
Are you looking on Wikipedia?
Shut up.
Exactly. Okay, so, all right. So, let's talk about...
He did die of stomach cancer.
Well, debatable, but we won't go there. Give your favorite moment of Dusty Rhodes in general.
Favorite moment?
Yeah, favorite moment, anything.
Does it have to be under the WWE company?
No, not at all.
Him with the three, I forget who the other guys were. I know one of them was Nikita Koloff, and it was his feud in WCW with the Four Horsemen.
You see, like, I used to, because you know the AWA, right? The AWA wrestling? Wrestling? Yeah.
The Midwest promotion. Yeah.
It used to be on ESPN Classic every morning, and I would watch it, and I'd always kind of see Dusty sometimes wrestling on there, but that's for a different time. But my favorite, I used to own his DVD. I forget the name of it. I can't think of it for the death of me, but I used to have his DVD and I would sit down and watch it. I was always taken back by how he was such a big man, but he could just run with them all. He could just move around the ring so smoothly, and it would just make you want to wrestle. Like it just would make you want to go in your backyard and drop an elbow on a pillow. That's what it would make you want to do. And start throwing elbows on the top of people's heads and stuff like that.
The bionic elbow.
Yeah, it would make you want to do that. But
like they've been doing it lately.
Yeah, I think with NXT, we got to talk about that as well. I mean, Dusty Rhodes you got to say, he's one of the biggest reasons NXT is so popular as it is now, because he's helped people with their promos, and he used to have a promo class. And I heard Kevin Owens talk about this. I heard Seth Rollins talk about this. All these all-stars from NXT, right? They always said that he would, like Seth Rollins would come up and he would cut the shittiest promo you ever heard. And Dusty would always, Seth Rollins said Dusty Rhodes would always be like, "Oh, that was so good." My Dusty Rhodes impression is awful, by the way, but
that was decent.
You did such a good job. You don't change anything. And I don't know. I always think that I would have loved to have met Dusty Rhodes just to kind of get a feel for how he was, because I always heard he was always in a great mood. He would tell stories.
Yeah, I've watched a bunch of interviews, biographies, documentaries, everything. He's the most optimistic person I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it seems that he obviously cared about the business, or he wouldn't have gotten into it. And when it comes down to it, I want to slide into talking about Stardust, because
actually, that actually leads into Stardust, is what I'm about to tell you. Back in the 60s, when he was wrestling, his nickname was Stardust.
Who?
Dusty.
Dusty?
Yeah.
I always remembered. I saw this on a picture yesterday. Actually, it was actually about Stardust. Cody Rhodes was in high school, in middle school. He was like 6th grade, and under his picture he said, "You can find me in about 20 years wrestling under the name Stardust." This was from his 6th grade yearbook.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like you said, I think the reason he did the whole Stardust thing is to homage his dad, because back in the 60s, I think this was before his WCW time. I think it was during AWA, they called him Stardust Dusty Rhodes.
Possibly. I'm not sure. I don't remember that stuff, but
because it's under his list of like known nicknames.
Yeah. But I want to talk about Stardust, right? I want to talk about Cody Rhodes, aka Stardust. Do you think the Stardust character is working at all? Do you think it's what Cody needs right now? Or do you think he should be Cody Rhodes and whatever?
I think Stardust could work, just not the way they're doing it right now.
I agree with you. I think I think it's nice that he's always wanted to be Stardust, correct? Like that's what he wanted to be in middle school. He always wanted to be a wrestler named Stardust.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great, no. But is he connecting with the fans?
Not really.
Not really. I mean, with this whole Cosmic Wasteland thing, I love it. I think it's great. I think the Ascension, I used to hate them. I used to hate them so much, and then I saw them wrestle in NXT, and I was like, why are you not doing this on Monday Night Raw? And then I thought, well, Monday Night Raw, the booking is shit in general. Which you have guys like the Ascension, right? And people will say, oh, they're just the Road Warriors 2.0, correct? That's what people will say, because people want to. Yeah, like they want to get people call them the Road Warriors 2.0 because of the way they have face paint, they have spikes on their shoulder pads, stuff like that. So I don't think that that's fair, right? I think the Ascension deserves a lot more than what they're getting. And when it comes down to it, is there another tag team who can wrestle with the Ascension? Because if you go back and watch them in NXT, those guys are tearing it up every single week, and they're loved on it. I can't express it enough. They are loved on NXT. And
I'm actually about to dive into the NXT roster right now. Oh, just give me 1 second. I'm pulling up the list right here.
And since we're talking about NXT roster, everyone knows Sami Zayn is returning soon. They don't have a specific date to when he's coming back, but probably going to be after Finn Balor and Samoa Joe at TakeOver in London, which is in London. Like,
I think he's going to return on that pay-per-view.
Yeah, or he can just return on Raw and challenge Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship. You know, the guy that took him out for fucking 6 to 9 months. So let's.
I got somebody that can contest with the Ascension.
Okay.
The guys who beat them for the NXT titles, the Vaudevillains.
Those guys are good too, man. I watched the match with them. I don't know who they faced. They're the tag champs right now.
Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson.
They are good, man. Those four are those guys are great. I love watching them. I think the Vaudevillains, they are just on another level. I think that they are almost ready. I don't know if their promos are good or not. I haven't heard them talk. But their in-ring ability, they are in sync with each other. Like these guys, I don't know how long they've been wrestling together, but they are in sync, man. Like it's crazy.
They've been wrestling for 15 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, man. It's nuts.
Here's the thing. Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, they were a tag team before they found each other in FCW. They were a tag team in the independent circuit.
Yeah. I mean, I love the gimmick. I think it's genius. And obviously, Triple H came up with that. I mean, it's pretty – or they might have came up with themselves or whatever. Don't quote me. But with the way that Triple H is running NXT, right, if he were to start booking on Raw, right, which he does. He works with the booking crew and whoever, the writers. Do you think NXT would be the same if Triple H were to start working full-time on Raw? And do you think Triple H would turn it from a 3-hour show to a 2-hour show again?
I'm going to say no to the deduction of hours. I think he's just going to – I think he might well, again, here's the thing. He knows what it's like from both a viewing standpoint and a wrestler standpoint as to how to book.
Yeah.
So if he books like he does on Raw, like he does NXT already, I think he could turn Raw back to what it was in its prime, back in the Attitude Era.
Man, see, there's never going to be another Attitude Era. And you can quote me saying that. There will never be another Stone Cold Steve Austin. There'll never be another Rock. Those two guys are once in a lifetime. Just saying.
Even though they're trying to imitate him now.
Yeah, you can say that Roman Reigns is the next Rock. You can say Dean Ambrose is the next Stone Cold. Never going to happen. Just like with characters like Randy Orton, right? There will never be another Randy Orton. As much as you can walk down the aisle like this, right? There's never going to be another individual that will scare the living daylights out of you like The Undertaker does, or when he used to, when the character was believable.
The 90s.
Yeah, and guys like Vader, you will never have guys like that again. Or guys like Sting, right? Let's talk about Crow Sting. Do you think there will ever be another Crow Sting?
Never.
Like a character that can actually take a character, right? Take another guy, put him in the boots of Crow Sting. Do you think he could walk the footsteps?
All I can say is I'm going to say no immediately, but just to add on that, I'm going to say if they try to, somebody going to get sued by Sting.
Yeah, I just don't – I mean, I'm not saying, take the gimmick and just run with it.
No,
right?
I'm just saying trying to but failing.
No, I'm saying, I don't know. I just don't think you can – let's talk about Dean Ambrose and the Stone Cold situation, right, where people were like, oh, Dean Ambrose is the Stone Cold of the PG era. Not necessarily true, right? I think Dean Ambrose is trying to do it. I don't think he's trying to do it. I think the Raw's trying to make him do it. I think the writers are trying to make him do it because they want to have someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin when it's impossible. It's literally impossible to duplicate Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's just the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. That's exactly what Stone Cold would say. There will never be another me. Hey, that's honesty. I don't know. Just like, okay, let me give you another example. Will there ever be another CM Punk of 2012?
Hell no.
In 2012. I mean, who has the balls to sit and talk about the person who runs the company and his family and say that the company would be better off if he was dead? Like, no one's going to say that. No one other than CM Punk. If you're not CM Punk, you will get fired immediately. Immediately. You will never be seen in wrestling again, I guarantee you. Unless, if you say it, the best you're going to get is going to TNA, because obviously TNA hates the WWE for taking all their superstars. I think that there's a kind of a deal there with that. I don't know. But, I mean, what do you think about – okay, since we're talking about the WWE, so we can't talk about TNA because I haven't really been watching. I actually watched like a couple highlights today, actually, about what's going on. But I do want to ask you about EC3. Now, when he was on NXT, right? I don't know. Do you remember when he was on NXT?
Yeah, his ring name was Derek Bateman.
Yeah. So, do you think EC3 is the guy that the WWE needs right now? A guy as cocky as him.
They had the chance to, but they fucked it up.
Yeah. I think EC3 now. If you don't know who EC3 is, look him up on YouTube. TNA. He's from TNA. He used to be their heavyweight champion. They're doing a tournament right now. Let's talk about that for a minute. We're gonna turn this into a WWE/TNA kind of thing here for a second.
Well, yeah, we might as well just call it a wrestling podcast in general, talking about all companies.
I could do that. I'm probably gonna. Okay, so episode 2 will be wrestling podcast. So, let's Have you seen the tournament? Have you seen TNA recently? Like any highlights in general?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with it.
Well, did you see where they have divas fighting for the world championship?
Yeah.
That's nuts. Have you ever heard of something like that?
No.
Like, why does WWE not do that?
And actually, I know who's in the running for that world title. It's Madison Rayne.
And Gail Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Gail Kim is wrestling a man on TNA. Like, where did this come from? And Awesome Kong is fighting a man on TNA. Like, it's nuts.
Awesome Kong, technically.
Well, yeah, she's something. But, so, if we're talking about TNA, let's talk about Austin Aries, right? You know who Austin Aries is, correct?
AA Austin Aries. He
is fantastic. I don't know why the WWE has not put him on NXT or on wherever you want to put him. He'd fit in perfectly.
Actually, little known fact, Austin Aries did the voice of your custom wrestler in the story mode of WWE 12.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That is a fun fact. Well, audience, you have a fun fact. But yeah, do you think Austin Aries would be a good fit in NXT right now? Because they wouldn't put him on the main roster right away.
No, they wouldn't put him right away. They would do it like friggin' Samoa Joe and James Storm. Speaking of which, they're actually trying to revamp James.
Good. I think James Storm deserves it. I think he deserves a lot more than he was getting in TNA.
They're entering more of his country music side.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler. I used to watch him when he was with Beer Money with Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode? Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Roode.
Which Bobby Roode is just the Triple H of TNA, pretty much. If you don't know who Bobby Roode is, look him up. You will think it's Triple H, honestly.
He stole, actually, a WWE wrestler's finishing move and name. The Rude Awakening.
Oh, God. Is that from Rick Rude?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He stole that.
No. I guess so.
And
you can't say that. I mean, Randy Orton does the diamond cutter, but Randy Orton jumps.
Yeah, but he rebranded it.
I mean, in
Bobby
general,
Roode didn't.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Kevin Owens, for instance, does the Swanton every single match, and he always misses.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And Jeff Hardy used the Swanton, and he even admitted himself that he stole it from a Japanese wrestler.
Well, okay, so is Seth Rollins stealing the pedigree?
No, Triple H signed off on it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I don't know who used to. Let me think of another one. Okay, so John Cena, is he still in the fireman's carry?
He's been using that for years.
I know, but the fireman's carry's been around since John Cena, before John Cena was.
Yeah, but they never used it like John did.
Well, yeah, John Cena in general. Okay, let's talk about this then. Does the what is it called when John Cena does that stunner? What is that called? He just
Springboard stunner.
Yeah, springboard stunner. Is he copying Stone Cold Steve Austin?
No.
I would say no, because he's putting a spin on it, even though he botches it every single freaking time.
You might as well uncensor this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if you swear. It doesn't matter to me. But I don't know. We got about 15 more minutes left on the podcast that we're going to do. We're going to go till 12. We could go a little longer if you want. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I could go for about like another half hour.
Okay, so we'll go till 12, 15, 12:30. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
Okay, so pretty much, let's talk about Cesaro for a minute. Everybody on my channel will know that I am a Cesaro fanboy and a half. Cesaro is my favorite superstar ever, since Seth Rollins, even though I still love Seth Rollins.
You're a fan of Seth Rollins, Cesaro, a little bit of Ambrose.
Yeah, here and there, Ambrose. I mean, Ambrose is getting kind of corny now.
You are the biggest fan of Brock Lesnar I've ever met.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. That's my guy. Can't wait till he comes back.
You are the biggest fan of Sting that I've ever met. Back when he was in his WCW days, though.
Yeah,
because I remember you had a blood red poster of Sting on your wall.
I think it's actually up there on top of that thing. I think you can actually see it, like the red right there.
Right, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's the Sting poster I have. But
yeah, that's the blood red poster you had.
So with Cesaro being out, right, for 4 months, 4 to 6 months.
Oh Jesus! Don't remind me.
Yeah, I know. What do you think the WWE can do without Rollins and Cesaro? Because obviously,
an NXT star. Only way.
Yeah, in my opinion, right, they need Finn Balor. And I really hope Samoa Joe beats him. And I hate to say that because Finn Balor, God bless you, you have all the talent in the world.
Usually if there's a title match and a person ends up losing more than twice due to rematch clause, they usually go to the main roster by the next month or so.
The thing, what I'm saying here is that you have guys now. You have the opportunity to bring up Finn Balor, Sami Zayn. I think Apollo Crews is ready.
That's another guy who I've been having my eye
on. Baron Corbin, he's another one. That's going to be a match at TakeOver.
Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin are fighting at NXT TakeOver.
Yeah, at TakeOver. The Divas as well. Why is Bayley? I mean, even though she is a champion, right?
I'm surprised Bayley's still there.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's another thing. Why is Bayley fighting Eva Marie? Did anybody catch that on NXT, by the way? Eva Marie and Bayley? Really? This is a thing? We're having the person who can't remember to kick out face an actually good wrestler. It makes no sense to me. Like it's the number one rule of wrestling, right? Know when to kick out. You know the outcome. If you're supposed to win, then win. Don't screw yourself. Because she pretty much almost screwed herself. She didn't kick out. She almost lost the match.
Also, let me point this out. During that title match she actually didn't botch as many moves as I thought she was going to, but she almost fucked up her sliced bread finisher.
Did she win?
No, Bayley ended up winning with her that belly-to-belly suplex from the top rope.
I mean, I saw I don't know if you watched the 6-man tag with I forget the name of the people who wrestle. It was somebody with Bayley and some 3 other people with another chick. I don't remember the name. But
wait a minute, I know who you're talking about. That was oh crap. That was Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss.
Okay. Yeah, it was. That was
versus
I don't remember their names, but I know that Bayley belly to belly either Blake or Murphy, and it was the funniest thing ever. It was the funny. Look it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Look it up.
Yeah, I know. I remember who Bailey teamed with.
Who?
Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder.
Yeah. Now let me talk about Mojo for a minute, right? This guy, no pun intended, stays hype. Like, he is the definition of a good time, in my opinion. If I was an NXT superstar or a superstar in general, he is the person that I would ride with because he seemed like a great time. But he also seems like he's the next Zack Ryder, and he's going to job to every single person on Raw, in my opinion. He's the guy that's going to be losing to Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that, but he's actually tag teaming with Zack Ryder still.
Yeah, no, I saw the match. It was a great match. I think NXT has something going down there, man. I really didn't give NXT a chance until about a couple months ago when I started watching Finn Balor a lot. He's one of those guys that I think will have the championship in about 2 to 3 months after he debuts. I think he's just that talented. I honestly do.
That face paint is crazy.
I mean, I don't know, man. He's something else. He's one of those guys. Like, again, he's like a once in a lifetime guy, right? He's just so talented, and it's really surprising that he left Japan to come to America because he had it made in Japan. If you go back and watch his Japan wrestling matches, he was the king. He was the king of wrestling there, in my opinion.
I don't doubt it.
He was killing it, but he decided to take the journey to NXT, and he's the fucking champion. So good. Thank you to Finn Balor for making wrestling again. He can't cut the best promos in the world, but he can back it up in the ring, and that's something that I think WWE is missing now that Rollins and Cesaro are gone, which sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another question, right? We'll get into other stuff. We only have about 15, 25 minutes left anyway. So if you could pick one person to be on the Stone Cold podcast, who would it be?
Like, it can even be NXT.
Yeah, anyone.
I am so lucky. I have the main and NXT roster up right now. I would have to say Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin. You know, something
I think that could be interesting.
If I could have one person on the Stone Cold podcast, man, there's so many people I want.
Yeah, one of them has already been on there, though.
Who, Brock?
Mm.
Yeah, but they didn't ask him the hard-hitting questions either. But, I mean,
Vince McMahon?
No, the best one was Paul Heyman. That was the best one, in my opinion. I think the one with Paul Heyman was great.
Yeah, him trying to set up a WrestleMania match.
They should do that, man. Stone Cold would get his ass whooped in a heartbeat. But I would love to see Bret Hart on the Stone Cold podcast. I know they're doing Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. I would love to have him or Shawn and Bret on the same podcast and just talk about the Montreal Screwjob, because that could be a whole topic in itself.
How did I know you were going to bring that up?
Okay. Do you want to talk about that, by the way? You want to talk about the Montreal Screwjob?
Well, sure, if you want to throw back it.
Well, have you seen the match?
I saw the second half of the match, yeah.
So you saw where Shawn put him in the sharpshooter, and then it just ended?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
And then I saw Bret spit in Vince's face.
Dude, he punched Vince McMahon right in the face. I remember watching that. I watched his Bret Hart's DVD, and he punched him right in the face, square in the eye. Bang, bang, boom, over.
I didn't hear about that.
Well, I
think I was watching like the entire Hart family biography.
Yeah, the whole thing with Bret was because he was leaving to go to WCW.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But what else? That was what I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Vince didn't want to have him leave to another company with the title.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about.
He felt betrayed, so he screwed him.
Well, do you have any other topics you want to talk about? Anything off the top of your head? Oh, actually, I got something. We'll talk about it after. Actually, you can go ahead.
I actually find this ironic, and you'll agree with me once you hear this, is how the NXT tag teams have more value than the actual main rosters.
I mean, I think NXT in general is better than Monday Night Raw, in my personal
Yeah, I know,
opinion.
but the thing is, it feels like not only their singles, but tag team competitors and women's division have more value than even the main roster itself, which is kind
Well,
of weird.
when it comes down to it, right? Do you think that NXT is the new SmackDown?
I don't know. I can't really say. I
Maybe.
can't really say it like a definite yes or no on that.
Well, see, like, I would love to put NXT above Raw, but I can't, right? You really can't because Raw is televised. In NXT, okay, here's another question. Do you think if NXT was televised, do you think it'd be more popular than Monday Night Raw? Right
Yeah,
now.
without a doubt.
See, here's why I disagree with you. We love to agree to disagree. You gotta think about it though, and I do want to agree with you so badly. I want to say NXT would destroy Monday Night Raw. It would be the new Monday Night Wars or the new brand wars. The only problem is that Monday Night Raw has been around for so long that I think it would be nearly impossible for another wrestling company right now to have a better rating than Raw. Even though Raw's ratings are in the toilet right now because they don't have anyone, man. They have no one. They have Sheamus as the champion. That's when you know you're desperate. I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna lie though. Actually, the reason they had Sheamus have the Money in the Bank for so long was because if anything happened to Seth, that was their safety net.
Yeah, and okay, so let's talk about Survivor Series. In your opinion, do you think Survivor Series will go down as the worst pay-per-view of all time that you've seen, that you've watched?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with you. This is the first time I think we'll agree. I 100% agree with you. I think that the WWE made it way too predictable. It was just way too predictable.
The tournament, we got the outcome right.
Yeah, I mean, like
the second they put out the bracket.
Yeah, it's like, really, who are you trying to fool here? You're not Chris Angel. You can't just throw an illusion on us and say, oh, you don't know what's gonna happen.
These are not the brackets you're looking for.
Yeah, it's like we all knew from the get-go that Roman Reigns was gonna win the championship. Now, a lot of us were kind of like, oh, well, Sheamus probably will cash in, but will he? Dun dun dun. He ended up cashing in.
I even said in our prediction video, I expected a cash in.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I was kind of like, well, the fans obviously don't want Roman Reigns to win, but they obviously don't want Sheamus to win. So what's the best thing to do? Not have Dean Ambrose win, which everybody wanted.
Everybody wanted Dean Ambrose to win.
Yeah, like, okay, this is what WWE pretty much did, right? Okay, so we have Roman Reigns, we have Dean Ambrose, and we have Kevin Owens. The fans want Kevin Owens to win. So yeah, he's just gonna lose to Dean Ambrose. Everybody wants Dean Ambrose to win. Now we'll just throw him in the trash again to Roman. And then, nobody wants Roman Reigns to win, but no one wants Sheamus to win, so those two are going to be the winners. Like, where's the common sense in it? Like, the WWE is trying to force Roman Reigns down our throats. And it's so terrible. It's so terrible. I just hate it. I hate the fact that they're trying to shove Roman down our throats. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. And I don't mean any disrespect to Roman Reigns, because like I said before, when we started the podcast, Roman Reigns is one of the best competitors in WWE right now. But he's boring. His promos are boring. He's not Cesaro. He can't wrestle like Cesaro. He can't speak like Seth Rollins. He doesn't have the power that Brock Lesnar has. He's just John Cena 2.0. But the only thing Roman can do that John Cena can't is sort of wrestle. And I don't know.
I would just like to point out that just like John Cena, Sheamus put it this way. John Cena, his whole tenure with this whole like
gimmick.
Woo! And all that.
Hi kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Like throughout that whole thing, he was a lightning rod for hate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And ever since he took his time off, I get he's filming a movie and all that.
Yeah.
But ever since then, Sheamus has basically said, "Oh, I'll take that lightning rod from you."
Yeah, you know what? And I told you this the other day. I don't know if you remember, but I actually missed John Cena being on Raw because it was something I could look forward to. I could look forward to a U.S. title defense, and let's talk about that after this. I could actually look forward to a great match because John Cena, love him or hate him, he would put on some pretty damn good. He put on pay-per-view matches on Raw if he was winning the match, which, good fucking God, when does John Cena ever lose a match? But that's besides the point.
Two.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, same. But Brock Lesnar.
But again, 2 out of how many?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But let's talk about Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger. That's going to be a match. That's going to be a match at TLC. And
that's also going to be a chair match. I'm predicting that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, did you see the Raw or SmackDown thing where?
Yeah,
Jack Swagger actually seems like he's over. Like the fans are actually digging him because the We the People thing. That's pretty sick, and I think Jack Swagger needs this. Like he needs this run because when was the last time we heard about Jack Swagger on a pay-per-view? Or in general. You don't hear about him.
We haven't really seen him go up against any major talent.
I think
here's the thing though, bringing back Del Rio with Zeb Coulter, you were kind of setting that up at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Or like I could have seen like a Cesaro kind of thing, even though Cesaro was with Paul Heyman after Zeb Coulter.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, I mean, do you think this whole Jack Swagger thing is going to work? Do you think it's gonna be a good match? Because Jack Swagger, all in all, you got to give the guy credit. He's a great wrestler.
Yeah, I give him credit. He's got the amateur background.
Yeah.
You got that patented ankle lock. Remember that house show? It was that master lock versus ankle lock submission match.
Yeah, we did see that. We went and watched that. You guys don't understand.
That wasn't a freaking house. That wasn't even a house show. That was a freaking circus tent.
Yeah. But yeah, let's kind of go into another topic here. I forget what I want to talk about. I just had it in my mind. Okay, let's talk about Paul Heyman, right? Because we always talk about managers.
I would be happy to talk about Paul Heyman.
Do you personally think that Paul Heyman is the single greatest manager of all time?
Yes, without hesitation.
Okay, can you give like reasons for that so the fans understand why you're saying that?
Well, I can come up with 3 good reasons if I can.
Okay.
My first one, obviously, because for those of the superstars that he managed from ECW going on, for those that didn't do good promo-wise themselves, Paul Heyman would be able to step in and make up for that.
Yeah, and let me cut you off real quick. Let's talk about. All right, let me just mention this to the people out there. If it wasn't for Paul Heyman, there would be no Rob Van Dam. There would be no CM Punk, and Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, would not be who he is today without.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't like cutting promos either.
Yeah, I mean,
like he'll have to if he has to. He will if he has to, but he prefers not to.
Yeah. So, like, what's your other 2 reasons, by the way?
Well, mainly the fact he's known for interfering in the matches a lot.
Who?
Heyman.
When? Recently.
I forget who it was. I think it was when Lesnar was going at Kurt Angle, I think.
I think you're thinking about the Big Show. At Survivor Series?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was like 10 years ago. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I know, but he when has he ever kicked that habit of not interfering?
Let's kind of talk about this then. Paul Heyman, arguably, the greatest person on the mic ever.
That's not even a debate.
Yeah, ever. I mean, just the guy can cut a promo.
Put a Hall of Fame for mouthpieces. He'll be number 1.
I don't see how people can like argue that he is not the greatest manager. Or I mean, obviously you got Bobby Heenan,
Jimmy Hart,
like guys like that. I mean, obviously, those guys are legends in themselves. They have they're in their own category. You know what I'm saying? And
there was Bobby Heenan, Jimmy Hart. Oh, I remember the Heenan family. That was huge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that you could always say that those three are the three single greatest managers. And if you guys, this is going to be, if you guys are watching this after this is recorded, leave a comment down. Who do you guys think is the greatest manager of all time as well?
Please let us know.
Okay, so let's get into this then. We've kind of discussed Paul Heyman being the greatest manager. Who do you think is the greatest superstar of all time?
You cannot ask me that.
I mean, off the top of your head, who's the first name that comes to your mind?
Can you give me a decade at least?
Any decade.
For the 70s going into the 80s, Ric Flair in his WCW days.
Okay.
Just because
I'm talking about like all time. All time.
Huh?
One person, all time. Every generation, all time.
Every generation. Oh.
I mean, well, one from the one person you think is the greatest wrestler to ever do it. It's a tough question. I know. Because there's a lot of people I think that deserve it. But
yeah, but most of my people aren't even like this decade.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be this decade. It can be anybody. Anyone. First name that comes to your mind.
I'm going through like people that are like also past.
Well,
I would think it would have to be a toss up.
Between who?
Roddy Piper and the Jake the Snake Roberts.
Those are two great ones. But you know who I would pick? Shawn Michaels. My personal opinion.
He was in my.
See, when you mention Shawn Michaels and the greatest of all time, little spiel thing, people are like, "Oh yeah, Shawn Michaels. He's pretty fucking great, right?" I personally think he's the greatest of all time. Besides, like obviously Ric Flair and Roddy Piper, like you said, and Jake St. Roberts, and guys like Rick Rude and even Hulk Hogan.
I picked Roddy Piper was because he was amazing coming up with the whole Piper's Pit thing.
Hell, you could even say Dusty Rhodes is one of the greatest of all times. I just think Shawn Michaels all around is hands down the greatest of all time, in my opinion. If you guys have another, like you said, comment down below who you think.
By the way, I'm just pointing this out. My greatest of all time decisions, the reason it was a toss-up is because I am biased.
I don't
because I've met Jake the Snake Roberts, and I can openly say he is the biggest wise ass I've ever met.
Okay, so if we're talking about greatest of all time, let's do greatest of this era, of the PG era. Who do you think?
Of the PG era.
Of the PG era.
Oof. We can dive into NXT?
No.
Or no? Do you want it to be limited?
No, just. I mean, you can if you want, but NXT is kind of the guys who are.
Yeah, we'll leave NXT to its own greatest.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Yeah.
Okay. I am so lucky I brought up the rosters. No, I'm being serious. I'm glad I had this open the whole time.
First name that comes to your head. Greatest of all time in the PG era. Who comes to your mind?
Well, that's kind of the problem. I'm a name dropper.
Yeah, sure. See, mine is obviously Randy Orton. Like, how can people? And I've actually heard people say this, that Randy Orton is not even in the top 10 for greatest of all time, for greatest wrestlers of all time. How can you say that Randy Orton is not one of the greatest of all time? I don't understand that. I just don't get it.
I'm going to say this right now, and this is not a biased opinion. Daniel Bryan.
Oh, man. See, that's another one. I mean, if you're talking about most over superstar of all time, him and Stone Cold.
In general.
I mean, like Stone Cold, The Rock, and Daniel Bryan are probably the three most over people I've ever met.
You said PG era.
Yeah, I'm talking about, like, because you said Daniel Bryan. He's got the whole Yes movement and all that, It's a pretty dope movement. I thought that they could have done a lot with Daniel Bryan, but, he's not a bodybuilder, so Vince and Hunter were like, oh, yeah, let's throw him to the curb, but.
Fuck the little guy.
Yeah. So let's talk about, okay, so greatest of all time. Greatest of the PG, of the Attitude Era. Who do you got?
Oh, the Attitude Era. Ooh.
It's pretty obvious for me.
Yeah. I already know who it is for you.
Go who?
Stone Cold.
Yeah. I mean, But see, I'm contradicting myself because I said Sean was the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
let me say this. All around, of every era that I've ever watched, Shawn Michaels is the greatest of all time. For certain eras now, PG era, no one can argue that Stone Cold Steve Austin was not the most over guy in the business. No one can say he wasn't. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, right?
I'm not gonna say whether he was or wasn't because I didn't watch him back then.
I didn't watch him either, but I mean, I watched the network. See, I was only 97. That was when he.
That's when he won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so I wasn't even born yet when the Attitude Era started. But thankfully for the WWE Network, for only a low price of $9.99, you can watch the Attitude Era, PG Era, any era. But from what I've seen,
we need to work on having WWE sponsor our podcast.
Yeah, we need to get sponsored here. I mean, WWE, we know what we're talking about. All right, just saying. Sometimes we know what we're talking about. But
what culture?
Yeah, what culture? Hit us up. We know what we're talking about. But sponsored? No. I don't know. I just when it comes to eras, right? You really can't pick and choose who are the greatest of those eras because there's so many. I mean, you can say The Rock, the PG era. Stone Cold, the PG era, Shawn Michaels, any era in general. But for the PG era, right? Let's talk about the PG era for a
minute. I never even answered my Attitude Era.
Okay, well, who do you got for the Attitude Era?
You're going to be surprised about this, but Steve Blackman.
For Steve Blackman? He
was the guy who knocked Shane McMahon off that Titantron during the hardcore matches.
Oh, okay, yeah. I had a general idea of who you were talking about, but
yeah, he was the guy who wore the MC Hammer pants and running around with the kendo stick.
Yeah, I've never really watched him, so I can't really comment on it. But I've seen the match with Shane. That was a great match. But that's another guy. Let's talk about that for a minute. Shane McMahon, just what a great athlete in general. Even though he wasn't a wrestler, he would go into a wrestling match and just actually legitimately look like a pro wrestler.
He would not give a fuck.
Yeah, he would just dive off shit. And, I watched the match against Kane. Here's a match you need to watch tonight, all right? Go on YouTube and watch the ambulance match with Shane McMahon and Kane. One of the greatest matches I've ever seen. There's a spot where Kane has like a box on him, a black box, and Shane like coast to coast him off the top of an ambulance. Like it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. He just puts his body out there, man. He's one of the craziest. And before that, he jumped off the top rope and put Kane through a table. Like, Shane McMahon is just amazing. Shane McMahon, great athlete in general.
I'm going to do what superstars don't, and I'm going to look into the heart camera right here. Shane, what happened to you?
You're breaking the fourth wall, man. You can't do that.
I'm Deadpool.
I think, well, I don't know. Well, who was your greatest of Attitude Era? You said Steve Blackman.
Yeah.
So who did you say for PG Era?
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan. Could we argue that John Cena is the greatest of the PG Era?
I will not comment on that.
See, I don't want to comment on it either, but I mean the guy has made WWE a shit ton of money in this era, but. And I just want to point out, guys, we're not trying to kiss.
Basically, just because he's the fucking WWE version of Barney.
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to kiss John Cena's ass here. I mean, John Cena. I hate John Cena. I don't really like him that much.
Oh, you won't see any kiss assery on John Cena from me.
Yeah, or me. I mean, I'm just not a John Cena fan. Okay, I've never been. I mean, I used to be a John Cena fan when I was younger.
I respect him for how long he chooses to go in the company. I respect him for his wrestling career, but I just don't like him.
Yeah.
I just don't like him.
So, to wrap this up, right, because it's almost 12:15. Well, we could go till 12:30 if you want. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. If you want to talk for 15 more minutes.
Yeah, I can go to 12:30. I got 55% on this.
Okay, so we'll just go to 12:30. So,
I'll pull out a charger next time so I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something else I want to kind of talk about for a minute. We're going to be doing this podcast. Well, we've came up pretty much with a date, right? Every Saturday night, pretty much, something like that. Every Friday, Saturday night.
Around like 10?
Yeah, we could do around 10 or like 8, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. if you guys want to see more videos like this or more streams like this, let us know. Because how are we supposed to know if you don't let us know?
Also, I would be happy to do this because I love doing this.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I kind of just came up with this on the spot. I was like, why don't we just get on Google Hangouts and just talk? Just talk about wrestling.
He literally just freaking called me. He said, hey, you want to do a WWE podcast? Because we both talk about it enough as it is.
I mean, why not? I mean, it seems like it'd be something fun to do. And I see people do it all the time, and I'm like, well, that looks easy, even though it took us like an hour to fucking connect to Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
I mean,
we finally figured out how now without any trouble. So
yeah, we figured it out. So, do you have any more topics you want to talk about tonight? We can talk about NXT some more. I love NXT. I can talk about NXT all night.
Oh, please, let's talk about NXT for a little bit.
Okay, so, do you think NXT should have a Hall of Fame?
For alumni?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because I think Tough Enough has it, right? Tough Enough has an alumni.
Yeah, Tough Enough has an alum. Yeah.
So who would be the first guy you put in there for NXT?
For NXT, Seth Rollins.
I agree with you. I was actually going to say Wade Barrett, but yeah, Seth Rollins. 100% Seth Rollins. Because he was the first NXT.
He was the first NXT champion, and he was the first major star to come out of NXT.
True. So who would be your second if you had to pick anybody?
My second, Neville.
Neville. I would go with Bo Dallas. Or Corey Graves.
Third.
Or Corey Graves. He's another one.
But he never really came out of NXT.
Yeah, true. But I mean, in NXT in general, he was he the NXT champion?
Tag team champion.
I got to go watch the match with him.
Wait, I don't think he was ever tag team champion.
Yeah, he was. He was with Neville because the Ascension beat him. I remember him talking about that.
Oh, yeah. I only hesitated because he had a tag team partner before Neville, and you're going to be shocked about this. It was the son of Vader.
Oh, well, not really surprised about it, but that stuff happens. But let me just kind of ask you this, though. Do you think Kevin Owens deserves to be an NXT alumni if there was?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I say the same answer. I know a lot of people are like, well, he was only there for like 4 or 5 months, but the guy put on crazy matches.
Yeah, but if he was only there for a certain amount of time that wasn't even that long, that means he was doing something right.
Yeah, I think Kevin Owens was ready to be in the WWE about 5 or 6 years ago as Kevin Steen. I really wish he would just say he's Kevin Steen.
Kevin
Owens is another great one. But let's talk about Hulk Hogan. And I'm sorry if this sparks controversy with any of the audience members.
Who gives a damn? We're breaking barriers in this pit.
I mean, I don't mean to do that, but do you think Hulk Hogan should be allowed to come back into the WWE right now at this very minute?
Given there's still a bit of, I'm going to say this right now, bitchy controversy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say wait. I still think the dust is still like roaming. I think he needs to wait for it to settle because I think he needs to wait for the people who take stuff too seriously to let it go.
I mean, I take it seriously too. I mean, it's racism. He said something racist. I mean,
yeah, I know, but
there's no sugarcoating it.
Even you pointed this out to me, like off podcast. He grew up around what times?
True, but we live in we're in 2015. Everything is pretty much legal now.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I kind of think they should do. I mean, has there ever been like another superstar who's had something like this happen? I can't really remember anybody. Oh, okay, let's take this like the Bret Hart situation, right? When he didn't come back to the WWE for like 10, 15 years. Do you think they're going to do something like that if Hulk Hogan is alive then? Do you think they'll bring back Hogan in about 5, 10 years?
Given Hulk Hogan, he does a workout regimen, so he's perfectly healthy. I think possibly.
Yeah.
But Hulk Hogan is like 8 years older than Bret.
True. Hogan's pretty old. Hogan was there with the first WrestleMania, and we're on like 42 now.
We're going on 32.
32. What the fuck am I talking about? 42. Jesus Christ, 32. Yeah.
You're probably thinking of Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Super Bowls. Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking about Super Bowls.
Because here's the thing. When Hulk Hogan main evented the first WrestleMania, Brett was still a kid in the dungeon.
True. But, I mean, I don't know. Do you think – I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. Any other things you want to talk about?
Yeah, I got a good one. How NXT is taking the women's division more seriously than the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think Monday Night Raw in general right now is just
shitting the bed.
Yeah, I don't want to hate on it. I mean, even though I do it on my YouTube channel all the time.
And you had that recent rant.
Yeah, I just don't see why. And I want to bring this up, right? If you don't know, WWE superstars, NXT superstars, they wrestle like 4-6 times a week, if that. I mean, maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a fucking lot, man. And then they wonder why superstars like Cesaro and Seth Rollins are injured because they're doing the same matches every single night. And I want to mention this too. People don't know this. Cesaro actually wrestled with a torn rotator cuff for about a month. I'm just saying. I think it was a couple weeks, but I think it might have been a month. But he wrestled with that for a couple weeks, and that's just.
He wrestled that the first 2 weeks of the tournament.
Yeah, and we knew something was wrong too because you remember he was wrestling Sheamus the first match.
He wrestled. Hang on,
I think it was Sheamus. Right?
Pull that up.
Well, whoever he wrestled, you remember he actually was holding his arm like he was.
Yeah, he was holding his arm both matches.
Yeah, and it was like something's not right here, and yeah, he was hurt, and it sucks to see Cesaro go down with that because Cesaro's on another level, man. He's so good, and sucks to see him go down with injuries like that. Next time, remind me to bring water because my throat is killing me.
Yeah, I had water down here. I haven't drunk any of it.
Yeah, I need to definitely bring water down next time.
Yeah, it's always good to be prepared.
So yeah, we got about 10 more minutes left on this podcast, guys. I don't know what else is there to talk about WWE right now. You want to talk about when do we think Daniel Bryan should come back? When do you think is the best time for him to come back?
Royal Rumble.
I was gonna say the same thing. I think the Royal Rumble is when he needs to come back, and he needs to actually win it this time. WWE, he needs to win it. That'd be a great thing to happen. Okay, so let me ask you this question: who do you think should be the champion going into WrestleMania?
You're asking me a question that I haven't even thought that far ahead.
Well, if you had to pick one person right now, who would it be?
Well, my theory is they're gonna bring in Finn Balor.
Yeah,
like around the Royal Rumble. So
I would love to see Finn Balor versus Daniel.
Zayn.
Yeah, I would love to see.
I would have to say. I would just love to see. Wait, you said world title?
Yeah, like the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
I think around that time, Kevin Owens would possibly have it on him.
I wish. I really do wish.
I mean, if WWE finally fucking listens.
Yeah.
I would have to say if they do listen to that, I would have to say Sami Zayn because they could make that interesting. Have Sami Zayn debut on the main roster at the Royal Rumble and then have pretty much like you did all this while I was injured.
Wait, so you're saying – okay, so what you're saying –
that I'm just as good as you are.
So what you're saying is you want to see Kevin Owens win the title and you want Sami Zayn to win the Rumble.
Yeah, going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that'd be great. But man can dream, right? It's never going to happen, but we can dream.
It'll be a perfect story arc because, like I said, while Sami Zayn was out this whole time, look what Kevin Owens has
Yeah,
accomplished.
Kevin Owens, man, he's growing so fast. And
his pay-per-view debut beat John Cena when
Yeah.
nothing went that way after.
yeah, and then lost to Cena twice in a row. And
Yeah, and for the title.
yeah, it's like
And then months after, he got the Intercontinental title. Fast forward.
yeah, it's crazy. Which now at TLC, it's pretty obvious. Dean Ambrose is going to be fighting Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship. So, do you think it's a good time to take the Intercontinental Championship off of Owens and keep it on Ambrose, and then maybe push Owens into the championship category for the world title at after what's the next event after TLC? Do you know?
Royal Rumble.
Is it really?
Yep.
Damn. Hold on. I am going to back this up. I hope you're right because I can't wait for the Rumble.
It's
The Rumble is usually in January, right? Yeah, the Rumble is
January
usually
21st. Wait, no. I'm thinking of a TV premiere.
No, you're right. It's the Rumble.
Yeah, but
Wait.
oh, by the way, just to clear up something, you were right. That whole time Cesaro faced injury, he faced Sheamus and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I know. So the Royal Rumble is going to be in Orlando, Florida, in January 24th.
Oh,
So TLC is December 13th.
oh, dude, guess who's on the poster for the Royal Rumble?
Who?
Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Seth Rollins.
Oh no, that's last year's.
No, I'm looking at this year.
No, that's
wait.
last year's.
Yeah, that's last year.
Yeah.
God damn me.
Yeah. TLC's December 13th. And
Wait, December 13th?
yeah, and the Rumble is the 24th of January. So
That's a bit odd.
yeah, that's a little long for a feud. Well, at least we know Roman Reigns will win the
Wait, you said
TLC.
TLC is December 13th, right?
December 13th, yep.
NXT TakeOver London is 3 days after that.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for that. Are you going to come over and watch that?
It's not even a fucking question.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun. I love it.
First, I'm going to watch that. I want to see Samoa Joe whoop Finn Balor's ass.
I hope he does because I want to see him on the main roster. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
That's why.
So, okay, so since we're talking about the Royal Rumble, our last topic will be who would you want to see? You got 5 people you could bring back, make a shocking appearance.
They don't even have to last.
Yeah, they don't have to last. Well, one of them can if you want to, but who would you pick?
First one, Vader.
Okay.
But he would only last, I think, 3 numbers after his entry. I don't expect him to last. I just want him there for shock value.
Yeah, why not? I mean, fucking Vader. All right, who else you got? You know, actually, let me throw one out there. Since we're in Orlando, Florida, why not bring back MVP for one night? Because he's from Florida.
He's still wrestling in TNA.
TNA, SMENA, whatever. Give him a nice contract. He'll come over. Don't worry. Just ask James Storm. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead with your other 4. Go ahead with your other 4 guys you bring back. And then I'll do my 5.
China.
Jesus Christ. Why?
Why not?
Why would you need China?
Huh?
Dude, China does porn now.
What?
I swear to God. Don't ask me how I know, but I mean, she does. Just believe me, she does.
Hey, I don't question knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you got China. You're 3 others.
3 others. Roddy Piper.
He's dead.
Oh.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. I'm just so stuck in the old days. Can you blame me? It was a good times.
Come on, man. Good God.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You got 3 more. Okay. Don't you dare say Owen Hart. I swear to God. If you say Owen Hart,
I was thinking the Hart family, but I wasn't thinking Owen.
Okay, who?
I was thinking Jim Neidhart's still alive, right?
Hold on. Probably not. Come on, Google.
Because
Jim.
Natalia's dad would actually shock some people.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, he's alive.
Okay.
So, Jim Neidhart. Who are you? Yeah, 2 more.
Wait, you said it's Orlando?
Yeah.
Rikishi.
Yeah, I'm sure why not. That'd be cool. Have his sons eliminate him or something like that. That'd be funny.
Actually, I was thinking have his sons eliminate him.
Yeah. All right, you got 1 more. Major shock value here. Who you got?
Major shock value as well as last.
If you want.
Jeff Hardy, and I want him to last the final 5.
Okay, Jeff Hardy. All right. So, I agree with you. All right, my 5. My number 5 would have to be Razor Ramon. Bring back Razor Ramon for a night.
Hey yo.
All right, and then number 4, Scott Steiner. Why not bring back Scott Steiner?
I didn't think about him.
Number 3, Farouk. Why not bring back?
Damn.
Okay. Number 2, for shits and giggles, Shawn Michaels or Ric Flair. Why not? Dude, those 2. And my number 1.
Ric Flair would be funny.
My number 1, and I want him to last and win it.
Please do not say a dead guy.
Shelton Benjamin.
What?
Shelton Benjamin.
Dude, I would flip.
Listen to me, WWE. This kid, this man now, had all the potential in the world. He had matches of the year with Triple H all throughout 2004, 2005. If they brought him back and they pushed him, let him win the Rumble. People would go nuts for that, man. People would go nuts. Can you imagine Shelton Benjamin coming back and winning the Royal Rumble?
That would be the biggest comeback of the year.
It would, dude. And he's only 30-something years old. He's not even that old. He could still go. And I think that would be a great way to end the Royal Rumble. My opinion. That's just something that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking Shelton Benjamin was a great wrestler.
Shelton Benjamin's 40 years old.
He's 40?
Yep.
He's not 40 years old. You're such a liar. Is he really?
Born July 9th, 1975.
Damn, he is 40. Okay, so scratch Shelton Benjamin. Hell. Okay, so Shelton Benjamin's no more. All right, we're not doing Shelton Benjamin anymore. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to keep it to where you can actually hold the title for a little bit.
Talking about somebody who's got some years on him?
Yeah. Number 1, I mean,
I scratched your idea real quick.
well, yeah, because, I mean, even I think 40's still young. I mean, I think he could still go. Okay, so I'll keep Shelton Benjamin, but we have a bonus, right? I don't know.
You want to add a bonus?
Yeah, so if you could add 1 more, who would it be? Who would you bring back?
Oh my Lord.
I already got mine. Oh, I got a good one too. I just thought of another one, but I'm gonna go with the one I just thought of because that's a better one.
You know what? I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to say Sandman.
Sandman. Okay, I thought we were keeping it young here. If I'm not mistaken, Sandman is like 60 years old.
Wait, is he?
Sandman ECW. He's 52. I was a little off.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's 52.
Okay, scratch him then.
All right, so
You know what? Let's bring my boy back. The man who gave me a free shout-out video, Rob Van Dam.
why not? Let's see why not.
Because no matter how old he is right now, he is still good like the old days.
Exactly. You see that poster behind you? You see the poster behind you?
Which one?
The one on the bottom right?
Triple H.
No. Sorry. Well, that's my right, but your left, I guess.
Orton.
Bring back, actually,
Because I got
top left.
Shawn
Top
Michaels up there
Top.
in the upper right.
Yeah, top left.
Top left is full of people that are high flyers. There's like 5 people on there.
Bring back John Morrison.
Oh yeah,
John Morrison. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, I would love to see John Morrison. He's got some years on him too. I think he's only like not even late 30s.
He might be in his 30s. He's definitely in his 30s. He's 36.
36.
Damn. That's pretty old.
He looks like not even 30 though.
Well, yeah.
Dude, I gotta say this. John Morrison looks great for his age.
Yeah, true. I think it's pretty insane. I want to know his workout regimen because
he does parkour like we used to.
Yeah, we tried to. But yeah, I mean, all right. So I'm gonna ask you one more question. Before we get off here, if you could push one superstar in the WWE right now, who would it be?
Oh Lord, Bray Wyatt.
I agree. Bray Wyatt. See, like I think there's superstars out there who like
More deserving.
Yeah, I think.
No.
No. I'm not saying that. I think there's just superstars who deserve it more than like Roman Reigns and all these other guys. But
oh yeah,
I mean, it's really hard to pick one, right? Because there's so many.
Yeah.
You know who I would? Titus O'Neil. Honestly, Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil has everything. He has everything it takes. Everything it takes to be a world champion. My opinion. I think he'd be a great world champion. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much gonna do it for us, guys. Though it was a lot of fun to do this. Our podcast. It really wasn't WWE podcast. It's kind of just wrestling podcast. We'll rename it next time we do this. So pretty much we're gonna do this every Friday night or Saturday night, depends how we feel.
Saturday preferably.
Yeah, possibly both. Maybe we'll do a mini podcast on Friday nights talking about Raw. Like we'll talk about like some of the stuff.
Oh, like a weekly recap podcast.
Yeah, and so pretty much that's gonna do it for us. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I had a great time doing this. I don't know how you feel about it.
I love it.
Yeah, I had a great time doing this. So that's pretty much gonna do it for us, guys. So if you guys would please, if you're watching this after the live stream, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We just hit 500 subscribers yesterday. Amazing milestone for myself.
And I'm still a lazy fuck uploading.
I mean, I've been slacking too, so I can't say anything. But
yeah, I know, but I haven't been asking you to help me with reaction videos lately, so
well, yeah,
that's kind of on me.
Yeah, true. But I do the same thing.
Oh wow, I love how he says, "Nah, man, you should ask."
No, all right, so
asshole.
pretty much, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. If you guys want to see more of this, let me know. And we'll be back next Saturday with the same podcast when we talk about wrestling. You guys want to ask us questions, go ahead. There's a chat, on the
ask us questions, and if we feel that they have relevance to the current story arcs that WWE has or the current problems that WWE has, we'll be happy to give you our input on it.
Absolutely. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys next Saturday. Peace out, guys. Anything? Oh, and actually, Demo, do you want to say anything to the people out there who are watching this?
Start a hashtag movement called Listen WWE.
Hashtag Listen WWE. Hashtag better than TNA. That's what we'll start. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. We will see you guys next Saturday. Peace.
Peace out.